Hey everyone. As I said in my Start Running, a beginner's guide video, one of the most important things you can do as a new runner is visit a dedicated running store so that you can be properly fitted for a brand new pair of shoes. Staff expertise will help you find a shoe that's perfect for your body type, your stride, your running goals, and it'll also help you to avoid injuries. So today we're going on a field trip to one of the country's top 50 running stores, the Charlotte Running Company. We'll run through the process of being properly fitted for a new pair of running shoes and hopefully alleviate any anxiety you may have about visiting a running store as a new runner. During these times of pandemic, it's extremely important for all of us to protect our own health and the health of everyone around us. So I want to make a special note here that Jamie invited me to visit before business hours after the store had been completely sanitized. Before my visit, I'd been quarantined for 4 weeks at home and Jamie's family had tested negative for COVID-19. So with that said, let's go have some fun. All right, everyone, we've arrived at Charlotte Running Company to do a run-through of a first running shoe purchase. What you should do in order to get it right the first time so that you can have a healthy, happy running experience right from the beginning. Here we go. Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Very well, very well.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, thank you for being available for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, let's see. Yeah, I just basically wanted to run through the process of a brand new runner, somebody who's literally just wants to get started.
Yeah.
And how they can get a proper shoe fitting so that they can get started out in a healthy, proper way.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so we'll take you through our process, a couple of steps. So I'm actually going to have you take off your shoes and socks. We're going to put you on this Atrix machine back here that's going to measure your feet, and we can kind of talk about that as we go. We'll talk about your history, you know, what you hope to do in the shoes, injuries and limitations and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
We'll then put you in a pair of shoes, film you running just back and forth.
Okay.
Take a look at how your foot goes and how your individual foot strikes in slow motion. And then from there, give you 3 or 4 choices and until we get a winner.
Okay, everyone. You can't say I don't share everything with you. There's the ugliness. All right. But I do it for you because I love you all.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie, let's do this.
Cool. Going back here. So we're going to take 3 separate pictures of your feet. Each one is going to take about 10 seconds. We're going to do them individually and then together. So as the first step, let me plug you in here. I want you to put your left foot in the center of the scanner in the oval, and your right foot just on the outside on the gray part. So again, yeah, left foot in the center, right foot on there. And when you kind of just stand in normal, we'll do this. So this thing has 18 3D cameras going around on your feet right now. As we'll see at the end, it takes a legit picture of your feet. And then so we'll swap you out with your right in the middle and your left on the outside.
Keeping your arms comfortably by your side.
Perfect. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and just hit the start for me. So it's going to measure length and width, instep, arch, and overall volume of your feet individually.
That's an amazing machine.
It is really good. And then the last one, just feet on feet in the middle of the scanner.
Keeping your arms comfortably by your side.
And then go ahead and hit start for me once more. So the last one, this thing has over 5,000 sensors in the bottom. You can kind of see it in the things. So it's going to measure kind of pressure points on your feet. And we'll get to go through them one by one to get a real picture of them.
Everybody will know what a freak I have.
Yeah. So that's it. You can step out of that thing, and then we'll kind of go. You want to go through it? We'll just kind of go through it real quick and see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah. So what's that shoe do normally wear?
Most brands 8.5.
Okay. Yeah. So this thing use it within a half size or whatever. It says a 9 might be a good fit, but
Yeah.
like you said,
Yeah,
different
no.
brands or different sizes, and that's a
Yeah, Hoka's I always go up a half size, sometimes in Saucony as well. So.
yeah. It would be easy on me if a 9 was a 9 was a 9, but it's not. So, but one of the benefits of coming in and getting fitted individually. So, like I said, the pressure map and looking at it and stuff like this, we can kind of look, it's like a heat weather map that we're seeing with all these afternoon showers.
Gotcha.
Kind of looks and sees, where your pressure points are and stuff. Looking at the arch, a little bit higher on the left foot, it will show us that. So in the measurement part of it, this thing is like artificial intelligence. So all the scans that we do, it grows with, in addition to scans across the country. It has close to 500,000 in.
That's great.
Shows the population average for a male, measures your feet down to the 100th of a centimeter.
Wow,
So
okay.
your left foot is just a smidge longer. And then the percentages, when it kind of stands out on one edge or the other, right, it's going to tell us a lot of information, but that's where you stand in overall male population, all the feet that we've done.
How cool.
Yeah.
I always thought my left foot was bigger, but now I know.
Yeah. Looking at the width of it, the right one's a little bit wider than the left. Again, kind of averages in over here. Again, doesn't really stand out, one way or the other. But looking at the width, this will tell me a lot of kind of what brands may be better for fitting you, what brands may fit a wider foot versus a narrower foot. Instep is just the depth of your foot, top to bottom.
Okay.
Same kind of thing, a little bit of differences, nothing out of the hugely out of the ordinary. The arch is where it's going to come a little bit different, because we could kind of see it labels them as high and medium, but we can really see where your left arch is definitely higher than your right arch.
Okay.
Shows on the percentage wise and stuff like that. So
That's interesting.
yeah, so sometimes it ends up being, do we need to, fill in that arch with something like that, and a flat feet, and what kind of support the shoe's going to have.
Gotcha.
So, vision analysis is the real picture of your feet, really showing
Wow.
on both of them kind of what you look like there. So,
Scary stuff, people.
Run length is 25.
swap it over to the feet there, get a real picture. We're going to film you running because it depends on what you're using the shoes for, but this thing does take pictures to look at the pronation of your feet, so kind of the rolling inwards or something when you're standing there. Now it's going to depend on what you're using the shoes for. I happen to know you're going to use yours for running, but we do fit a whole lot of people that are standing on their feet all day long. So
Gotcha.
retail workers, hospital nurses, people that are on concrete, anything like that need a good pair of shoes. This kind of helps us look at that support that they may or may not need.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and then since this is an orthotic machine, if you're having pain in your feet, it lists out of the 9 orthotics what it would look like and gives you kind of a before and after picture if we can fill in whichever arch you may need. Those that aren't having pain, the screen doesn't mean as much. I've gathered all the information I need already.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So what we'll do next is I'm going to have you put on a pair of socks.
Okay.
I'm going to give you just a pair of shoes to start us with.
Okay.
I'm going to film you running up and down, and then based on those things, we'll be able to do some recommendations.
Gotcha. So yeah, I'm thinking since this is a running channel, and I want people to, my target audience for this particular video is brand new runners, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
So if we could go after shoes that are sort of the catch-all.
Okay.
I just want to be able to buy one pair of shoes to get started.
Yep.
And just spend a couple of months in those.
Yeah.
And be well protected and be able to do everything.
Yeah. So I would say that the other thing I would ask is what you're using the shoes for, what your history is, like, do you have any current injuries or surgeries or limitations that would prevent you and stuff like that, before I pick stuff. So
Okay.
I know enough about your history, but for those new runners coming in, we're going to want to know all of this information.
See, that's great. See, this is why I wanted to do this video, people. You come to a great running shop, and these are the kind of things you may not think of yourself, but they've got you covered.
So, like I said, now we're going to film you running, and the reason that we're going to do that is because shoes come in 2 main categories, neutral and stability at the top level. So a neutral shoe is going to have the same density foam all the way around. even then subcategories of neutral, it's going to be how much foam do you like? Do you like a little bit of foam as a lightweight shoe connected to the ground, a whole lot of foam, or you want the max cushion, you need a little bit extra. And then why we're foaming it is because we're going to watch and see your foot hit, and when it strikes, most shoes are going to build up in this back part here because a lot of people hit on the heel here. Yep. Typical foot rolls in 15 to 20 degrees, and then we want to see what happens to your individual foot strike from there. Do you overpronate or roll in more? Do you supinate or roll out a little bit? And then we can pick out our shoes based on what you need, the support. This one in the stability support, you can actually see it in here, and if you'll feel that, it's harder in the middle than it is here.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
So in this brand, it's called medial posting, and that's meant to be when your foot starts to roll over, it just gives you a little bit extra support if you need it.
Yep.
But we don't know the answer to that yet, so I'm going to give you a pair of shoes just to put on to start with. All right. Just the neutral shoe. I actually picked out this brand. It's called 361. Because we're the only people in the Carolinas that carry it, and so
that's wonderful. This is a shoe brand that I've been long curious about, but I've never put on before.
Yeah. So we brought them in a couple of years ago as a relatively new brand, and tried them out with 2 styles, and had such great success with them that we brought in 2 more styles, and actually we'll bring in a 5th. Coming this January. I think that they've got a new model coming out that we'll bring in, so it's been real good for us. A lot of positive reviews on that.
I'm glad to hear that. I think the more competition out there in the market, the better as far as the shoe brands go.
Yeah, and you have to do something different too. So these guys put a carbon fiber plate in a little bit of their shoe, so it's like the high-end $200 to $250 marathon shoes, but only not a full-length carbon fiber plate, and then at a $130 to $155 price point.
Wow!
So you get a lot of the benefits of that, but not without the full length on it. So
I can see that being a popular idea.
Yeah. So I'm just going to film you kind of running down to there. Lots of times we'll go outside, but we got room to do it in here. So if you'll just run down to the door and back to me.
Sure.
So trying to make it big, we'll see where your foot kind of comes down on that outside heel, right? Just like we talked about.
Yep.
Rolls in a little bit, but not too much. You're still pretty much straight up and down, right?
Gotcha.
So not rolling in a lot. If we were seeing a lot of pronation, we'd see a much more distinct, more than that 15 to 20 degrees bend in your ankles and stuff like that. So that's kind of a long-winded way of saying you don't need the extra support and weight of a stability shoe.
Okay.
So we're just going to give you a couple of more neutral choices. So like we talked about in the beginning and looking at it, and a size 9 is not a size 9 is not a size 9. I may skew that based on brand as to which ones run a little long or which ones run a little small. And so now that we know your history, your injuries, we know what your feet look like and all the measurements, we know what your gait cycle looks like, I can then take all of these 40 shoes on the wall and bring you out 3 or 4 that would be best for you. So now our hope is that we know all the pieces there. We're going to trust me to do my job as a good professional with the history of doing this, and we just want you to try them on, run around in them, and ideally either one that you put on you'll say this feels like home, I know this is the one, or you make a maybe in a no pile, and then we can kind of talk more about the differences between each of them. But we've got you in neutral shoes, and then we're just going to try out 4 different brands. So this one is actually the Brooks Ghost.
That's so comfortable shoe.
Yeah.
Plenty of room up front. Wow.
Yeah, Brooks is known to have a lot of room in the forefoot. The Ghost, they've got a number of shoes. Brooks is still the #1 brand in running stores across the country.
Really?
With the Ghost still being their top selling shoes. And so lots of times people, based on the first couple shoes we'll try, will have it type, even if they don't know, I really like that soft marshmallowy feel.
Yeah, no, this is nice because it's got, it reminds me of like a thinner midsole Hoka.
Yeah.
It's got that same kind of Clifton squish,
Yeah.
but it's not overly pillowy.
Yeah.
You know, you still get a little bit, especially forefoot, you get a lot of,
Yeah, still a
rope
pop
feel.
off. Yeah, still performance, Yeah, and then. So we're gonna go to this brand's called On Running.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Tried
Yet another
that one
brand.
Yet. Very popular brand. One of our top 3 sellers all the time. If you can see pops in the thing here. So what they call their clouds on the bottom. So it's a 3-piece construction with the inner sock liner. It has a plastic speed board here, and they call these clouds. So meant to be soft on the way down, and then to spring back to life. This shoe is very lightweight and very flexible, as you can see. You can kind of bend it around in half. They've added new foam to it called Helion foam, which is now their newest, most durable, bounciest foam into it. So
okay.
it's another shoe that just updated and just came out in version 2, and it is much more cushioned than the first model.
The amount of room in the forefoot on the Brooks Ghost surprised me.
Yeah.
But this is a roomier shoe.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, and didn't used to be. It was in the beginning ran very narrow.
Now it's funny because, you know, if I was here shopping solely for myself, everybody, so far this wins the day because it's a lighter shoe. It's got some more room for foot splay or toe splay, and I feel like this is a more performance-based shoe. I think this one rides the line between I could run a tempo day easily in this shoe, definitely, or even hit the track probably in this shoe.
Definitely.
The Ghost, I think, is much more if you're looking for a plush, do it all, stay safe, don't hurt yourself kind of ride.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I would prefer to stick with, if you want to show that kind of thing off today.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll probably appeal more to the people who are watching this particular video.
Yeah. So I think that.
It is a great shoe. Wow, I may be back for this one all by myself.
So next, as you mentioned, just as you asked for, a Hoka Clifton 7. So another shoe hot off the presses, actually. Hoka Clifton, one of our top sellers, definitely in our top 3 shoes. And as you can see, all the cushion for it, a trainer that you could use to do longer distance runs. You could use it for about everything. Yeah, Clifton is such a seller that they, really, even though the price will go on sale, it's hard to find them even if you like them, but they've made significant changes to it, a much lighter midsole than the previous model.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I felt it as soon as you put it in my hand.
You can see the heel on it where it's got now that elevated heel tab for on and off, but to give you a little bit of more support around the Achilles and stuff too.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, these will be in my closet.
It's a great place to start, great place for people, a whole lot of cushion, helps you propel, your forward motion with the meta rocker that they have. And yeah.
For me, the 2 winners on the day are not that this video, we're not trying to sell a particular model or brand of sneaker, but for those who are curious, if you're looking for plush protection over many, many miles, but still light enough to go quick, wow. The Clifton 7 is something else. And if you're looking for a speedy, lighter shoe, this is the On, what's the
Cloud X is the style.
The Cloud X, wow. Surprise out of the blue for me, what a shoe.
Yeah.
I'm coming back for these. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, like I said, if we didn't find a winner, we can go deeper than that. We carry the top 13 brands, so we could go on to as long as we needed to get the customer out of here in something wonderful.
So, thank you so much again, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is wonderful, and hopefully everyone, this has relieved a little bit of the anxiety that you might have about coming to a running store as a non-runner, or if you consider yourself a non-runner. As far as I'm concerned, if you've gone 100 yards, you're a runner.